They represent your voice in Washington, and they need to hear this story. But they are interested in impact, in your jobs, and being able to go back and tell this story about Philadelphia back in Washington.
All right, here we go. Again, my name is Pat LaRoche, and I have a general contracting and stocking supplier company. We have 3 locations. We have one over in Camden, one in Philadelphia, and one out in Bensalem. Currently, right now, I have 10 full-time employees, largely because I don't have enough kind of that steady Freddy capital to kind of really put to, because employees are very expensive. Okay, and there's money that you're putting out that you don't always get that immediate return on, right? So that's kind of a little bit of problem that we have 10, which kind of creates a growth issue. So I kind of became a little bit more creative and put together a consulting firm, right, of people that I use. So 10 full-time employees and then 20 consulting contractors that I have that helps really kind of formalize the base of my company. As far as kind of like getting capital, I have not actually received any success, I should say, going out into the traditional marketplace to get. So I kind of went out to different people that I know that have pretty good bankrolls, and I presented my company, and I actually did private financing to kind of get my business going. So I wind up doing a loan for about $178,000, okay? And that has been really good, but I would love to be able to have something that could be very, very more structured. And I think as we go down the line and speak to other business owners here, it's like, especially around what I do, that the liquidity of your money, the assets that you have are very important in this particular, in the construction industry, to be able to get the bonding and have an opportunity to go after bigger projects. So this capital piece is incredibly important.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Nydia Richter, and I own Sugar Bakery. I make desserts. Right now I focus on wholesale, so I make desserts for restaurants and for caterers. I'm very clear that what I do is the last thing people eat, whatever event they're at. So my goal is to make sure that you obsess for 2 weeks after, for what you've had. You know, that
Dessert.
And that tends to happen. I really love what I do. I come from a family legacy. I'm 3rd generation. My family's from Honduras, so I do a hybrid between my training in classical French, and I throw in a lot of Latin American flavors. But I adapt to the sources too. So I have an Italian restaurant, so I'll make Italian-inspired desserts for them. I can't pay myself yet. I'm very lucky that my husband, provides for the family. And I was able to get my home kitchen license. Right now, I'm actually in the process of applying for a loan. I'm working with Courtney, and
That's the Enterprise Center.
at the enterprise, yes.
Yeah, he works.
And I talked to a few other lenders too, and I need $15,000 because I need 3 key pieces of equipment that are going to change dramatically my production. I need a convection oven. I need a commercial dishwasher. And I need an under-counter refrigerator. If I get those 3 pieces of equipment, I can increase my production 5 times. So the challenge that I find is because my expenses are very high, because I have to buy a lot of ingredients, my ingredients are expensive. I have 1 part-time employee, so I have to pay him. So my challenge is that I have very little cash flow. So the lenders that I've spoken to, the majority of they consider my loan a small loan, but to me $15,000 is a lot of money. So I need more than 5 years credit, and it's very hard to find terms that are longer than 5 years. If I could get 7 years, that would help me tremendously. So I think that for people like me, it would be really helpful to have more flexible terms. I have outstanding credit. I mean, my credit is over 700, so there's no question that I'm gonna pay back. But this is why I'm clear. I don't want to have to pay more than $200 a month, because I can't. That's all I can do right now.
Okay. So where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
In 5 years,
What do you think your revenue will be? If it's 50 today, 5 years from now, where do you like for it to be?
I would like it to be at least 150,000
Okay.
or more than that. But in 5 years, I would like to see myself with a storefront.
Okay.
That is my goal, to have a storefront. I would still like to keep the wholesale part of it because that's good, consistent revenue. But I want the relationship with the traffic, the foot traffic, and I would like to have the store here in the city.
All right.
My name is Sharon Reese Morgan. I'm the owner of S&B Organic Cleaning Solutions. We provide wonderful, excellent cleaning services to commercial and residential clients. Just to tell you a little bit about my background, I started out as a housekeeper on the main line. In 2007, I decided to take on an assistant, and my company pretty much has grown by word of mouth up until now, really. I've never marketed my company or did any kind of advertising. And my credit, fell behind because, a lot of my bills, I couldn't pay some of my bills just funding my company. But thank God I found an enterprise center because I could not get funded traditionally anywhere, with a traditional bank, even a bank that I've been with for years. They wouldn't do anything for me. But I'm funded now.
Did you tell me your revenue today?
My revenue today is $650,000,
And what would you like for it to be 5 years from now?
at least $5 million, at least.
And so how many people you employ today?
27, and just the access to capital is huge for me. Also, like my biggest thing right now is my payroll. Making my payroll, that's the biggest thing for me right now.
What type of financing? She got a loan from us.
I got a
How
loan.
much?
I got $61,000 from the
$61,000.
enterprise. Isn't that amazing?
To that councilwoman?
Yes.
Hello, my name is Tiffany Easley. I own Envy My Eyewear. It's located on 52nd and Warner. It's a full-service optical store where we do exams. We have a full-service retail floor, and we actually make our prescription glasses on site. We have a full-service lab. And with my company, I funded it myself. I couldn't get a loan from any banks that I was with for 10 or plus more years. Even some of the black-owned banks, they wouldn't give me any capital. So everything that I did with opening my store, it came from my own savings. And by doing that, I feel behind using my personal credit because I couldn't afford to, pay certain bills on time, pay my credit cards, so I had to max out my credit cards to make sure I paid the light bill at the store or to make sure that I could pay the rent at the store.
I just want to say I'm from Brooklyn, New York.
Brooklyn.
And my family currently, we live in Queens, New York, Left Rash. And I came here to Philadelphia to study at Drexel University and earn my civil engineering degree, where I also studied architectural and construction management. I've been in business since 2002, and it's been extremely difficult, not only to get capital, but to also get into the construction industry. So in order to run my business for the period of time that I had to think strategically. A lot of the things that I had to do was to make sure that I did not have any overhead because I knew I didn't have the consistent cash flow to maintain paying payroll and to pay for any other type of overhead. So what I pretty much have done is been basically surviving. I've been using my company like an ATM machine. My revenue is about $200,000. My expenses are very high. For example, I was commuting for the past 3 years to the Capitol, from here to the Capitol for 3 years. The expenses for transportation was about $30,000 a year. And if you could think about other expenses such as business insurance, all of these eat away to the point where you don't have a profit. And it's real. I've been in this cycle now for more than 15 years. And I said to myself, there has to be another way. And that was when I decided to come to the Enterprise Center. Thank God I did, and when I did come here, I found a place that actually listened to me, actually validated the work that I've done. The work that I've done as a civil engineer for the city of Philadelphia and the state of Pennsylvania. I mean, I've done it all by sweat equity, just in hopes that somebody can see that so I can help other young engineers, help other people realize that they can make it in this industry, but it's been very hard. It's been very hard to say the least.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Michelle McDowell. I'm the president of Contract Support Systems and JMAR Insurance. We provide surety bonds and insurance products to minority businesses. We have been in business for 26 years for JMAR and almost 30 years for Contract Support Systems. Because my business is focused on minority contractors, as we all know, it's hard for them to get bonding. And I've continued the legacy that my father put in place, Jerry Valerie. to focus on minority contractors to help them grow, get bonding, and prosper. But as you may or may not be aware, it's hard for contractors to get bonding because of they need working capital, they have credit problems, they have liens, bankruptcies. So with programs available that need to be put in place to help them, such as the ones here at the Enterprise Center, we're able to help them. But there's a lot more things that need to be done. They also need to be trained. There's such a disparity between minority contractors and other contractors that are part of the unions, as far as technology, the equipment that they use. Philadelphia really doesn't have basic training programs for minority contractors. So I think we need to look at those things as far as building up minority contractors, getting them trained, getting them educated on how to improve financially themselves so that they're able to compete with others, because right now they're not able to compete.
Sure. Good morning, everyone. And I am so honored to be here, especially with my colleague, a hard-working member of Congress representing you. I am just so proud, I gotta tell you. I am the ranking on the Small Business Committee, and I can assure you that he always comes to the meetings, the hearings, the roundtables, when there are tough issues where the other side is going to go after some of the safety net and programs that have a proven record of success and that are important for our community. Mr. Evans is always there to defend those programs and to make the case on behalf of small businesses in America. Look, we try very hard because we know the important role that small businesses play, particularly in our communities. When you see the Little Leagues, are the small businesses providing the funding for uniforms or for the trophies. So when we talk about small businesses, it's not about the fact that they really, truly are the engine that fuel our economy, but they are the ones stabilizing our communities. And so when we discuss the importance of growing our economy, we're talking about small businesses because they are the ones that really create businesses in our community, that create the jobs that we need. So when we pass a tax bill in Washington that basically benefit big businesses, but it's too little for small businesses, we know that we have to do a better job in Washington. So look, I just want to share with you some important numbers so that people understand the role that women-owned businesses play in our economy. We have 9 million women-owned businesses generating $1 trillion in revenue. That, my friend, is power. And we have to always talk about that, because if we do not provide for a level playing field for more African American women and Latino women to continue to turn their ideas into a reality in creating businesses, then we're going to shortchange the opportunities of job creation and economic development in our country. And then, yes, the problem of access to capital. And here you have the Enterprise Center, who is a partner with the SBA, the Small Business Administration. What we want is to make sure that we have a small business administration that continues to innovate and to recognize that they have a long way to go in making sure that the information is provided, that the tools are given to minority businesses so that you could access capital. I've been critical that the federal government under the Small Business Administration, when you look at the portfolio of 7A lending or 504, most of the focus has been into making large loans.
So let me introduce, but for those who don't know me, I'm Dr. Curtis Ricker. I work for the Commerce Department in the city of Philadelphia. I'm just going to throw out one thing that we're working on, because we're working within the systems that we have in front of us and doing incredible things in incredible areas with the resources that we do have. But I think we need to change the conversation from the existing structure to a new one. And I will just throw out a term for you to give consideration. Public Banking Institute is a model that has been around for over 100 years. Actually started out at the Quakers meeting in Pennsylvania, and the Bank of North Dakota is the current model in the United States. That to me is not necessarily a silver bullet, but it takes us out of the relying on CDBG money, CDFIs, quasi-government agencies to fund our projects. And I'm tickled to death to be here because the conversation went beyond just debt capital and talked about the need for venture capital. The VCs, at least in Philadelphia, are not playing in that space 5 million and below because they can't make any money there. So that leaves a huge gap. And when you're talking about generational disparity, not everybody has the resources of a second income, so they can even do something as simple as fill out that application for that grant or that capital or that patient capital to still come. So I say, you know, we got to change the conversation.
Look, when you look at a number like this, white males receive 119% venture capital than women, not minority women, women in general. But women are the fastest growing sector in our economy. So imagine those numbers about the millions of jobs that women create in this country, the $1 trillion revenue. How will that grow exponentially if we have a more level playing field when it comes to those type of investments?
You know, this is a process you got to go through. As you in this city trust the process, right? That's what you're going through. And I know everybody wants, and I thought the rent bill was good. I know we don't have instant answers, right? You know, when you say 15,000, but it is a process. And that's what we have to go through. And this is what we got to do to get where we have to go. So that's why I'm expressing that to you.
So please join me in
218
giving
and 60 in the Senate.
You're that, yeah, 16%. That's exactly it.
So please join me in giving our honored guest